Dr. Prabha Ramesh Salokhe from Department of Chemistry, Yashwantrao Chavan Varna Mahavidyalaya, Varnanagar. Today I am going to discuss the topic soap, which is useful for BSc second year students of Shivaji University for paper 6. In the beginning, soap was used as a luxurious thing. However, the growing awareness of health and hygiene, it becomes an essential thing in day-to-day life. Also, the increased availability of raw materials used and the new methods for its preparation, it creates much demand of the soap. Soaps are defined as the alkali salts of higher fatty acids. They are represented as RCOO-M+, where R is alkyl group and M is the alkali metal, while N is the charge which is present on the cation. They are of two types, hard soaps and soft soaps. Soaps of sodium salts are called as hard soaps, while the soaps of potassium salts are called as soft soaps. Now we will going to discuss about the methods for preparation of soaps. Generally there are two methods used for preparation of soaps. First is from fatty acids and the second is from fats and oils. Fatty acids are the higher monocarboxylic acids which have a long chain of carbon atoms. They are of two types, saturated fatty acids and unsaturated fatty acids. If the alkyl chain have all the carbon-carbon single bonds, then such fatty acids are called as saturated fatty acids. And if the alkyl chain have carbon-carbon double bonds, means if it is unsaturated one, then such fatty acids are called as unsaturated fatty acids. These fatty acids on reaction with concentrated alkali like NaOH or KOH gives alkali salts of fatty acids, which is nothing but soap, and thus this is the process of simple neutralization. The second method for preparation of soap is from fats and oils. Fats or oils are the triesters of glycerols with higher fatty acids. These triesters on alkaline hydrolysis gives alkali salts of fatty acids, which is nothing but soap, and the process is called as saponification. One more advantage of this method is in this process we get glycerol as a valuable byproduct. Now we will going to discuss about the raw materials used in preparation of soaps. As we have seen in the previous point, that is in methods for preparation of soaps, alkalis are the most important constituents for preparation of soaps. These alkalis used are of two types, saponifying alkalis and non-saponifying alkalis. The saponifying alkalis are used to bring the saponification of fats and oils. For example, sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxides, etc. The non-saponifying alkalis are used in preparation of soaps from fatty acids. Means they are not used in preparation of soaps in saponification process. The sodium carbonate or ammonium hydroxides can be used as a non-saponifying alkalis. One more important constituent in preparation of soap is common salt, that is brine solution, which is used to separate soap after saponification process. Then we will going to discuss about the fats, oils and fatty acids. The fats are the most important constituents of the preparation of soaps. Generally, the tallow is the principal fatty material which is used in preparation of soap. It is mainly obtained from fats of cow, sheep, etc. But the soap which is obtained from aloe tallow is somewhat hard and insoluble in water, and that's why we have to add some amount of coconut oil or a palm oil into it as we get the soft and water soluble soap. The next fatty material which is used is grease. This grease is obtained from small domestic animals and which mainly contains olein and stearin, and these are mainly used in preparation of high grade soaps. Then about oils. We can use different types of oils in preparation of soaps. For example, coconut oil. Coconut oil is mainly used in preparation of soft soaps as they have large amount of unsaturated acids. Then about palm oil. Palm oil is used in preparation of toilet soaps and it consists mainly about palmitin and olein acids. Then castor oil we can use, which is mainly used in preparation of transparent soaps and it contains the unsaturated fatty acids which is called as ricinoleic acid. Then we can use groundnut oil which has a high percentage of unsaturated acids. Then we can use maize oil in the replacement of groundnut oil as it is more cheaper than the groundnut oil. Then linseed oil which contains mainly linoleic acid and can be used in the preparation of soft soaps. Then the fatty acids may be saturated or unsaturated one can be used in preparation of soaps. The saturated fatty acids like caproic acid or lauric acid or unsaturated fatty acids like oleic acid or linoleic acids can be mainly used. Then along with all these components, one third component should be added to preparation of soap which is mainly used to improve the quality and appearance of soap. And these third components they are called as additives. For example, the builders. Builders are mainly used for cleaning capacity. Then antioxidants to increase the durability or fillers we can use to increase the weight or fixatives to fix the added perfume or smell for longer time or we can use rosin to increase the leathering property or the superfatting agents which are used to protect the skin from becoming dry or rough. Now we will going to study about the types of soaps. Soaps are mainly of four types. The first type is household soap. The household soaps are generally used for washing of clothes or utensils and they are prepared from cheap oils of fats and NOH. They mainly contains free alkalis and the additives which are required. The second type is toilet soap. Toilet soap mainly contains best quality of fats and oils and they contains about 10 to 15% of moisture and glycerol. They may contain the additives which are required like rosins or fillers or fixatives etc. Also, the shampoos contains lauric acids or oleic acids etc. The next type is industrial soap. Industrial soap have a great wide variety of applications in industries. They are used for cleaning industrial machinery as well as they are water repellent and used to proof the textiles and walls. The next type is shaving soaps. It is the mixture of sodium and potassium soaps and it mainly contains stearic acid to increase the lathering capacity. Now we will going to study about the manufacture of soaps. There are three methods which are used for manufacture of soaps. The first one is hot process, second is cold process and the third one is semi-boiled process. Hot process have some more advantages over cold and semi-boiled process and hence we will going to discuss first about hot process. It consists of three steps. The first one is saponification, the second step is salting out of soap and the third one is finishing. In the first step of saponification, the mixture of oil or fat and a known amount of alkali which is called as lye is taken in a steel pan which is called as kettle and then it is heated by steam. About 80% of fat it gets saponified and hence the process is called as saponification. The frothy mixture of soap and glycerol is obtained. The second step in this preparation is salting out of soap. In this step, the common salt or brine solution is added to precipitate the soap. And as soap is insoluble in brine, it separates out and floats on the surface as granular mass. And hence it is called as graining of soap. The lower aqueous layer contains glycerol or common salts or unused alkali which is drawn out, and from this solution we can separate these constituents like glycerols or alkalis and can be recycled. The soap then washed with water to remove the excess of alkali. The third step is finishing. This step is mainly used to improve the appearance of soap. The upper layer of pure soap is then transferred to a crusher, which is the mixing machine, and then it mixed with the required additives like fillers or coloring matters, rosin, superfatting agents, etc., and then runs into molds and allowed to stand for 2 to 3 days to become hard, then cut into pieces and sent to market. This is the schematic diagram for manufacture of soap by hot process. This one is the kettle in which a mixture of oil or fat and known amount of alkali, that is lye, is taken and heated by steam. Then the lower layer is drawn out and the upper layer, which contains pure soap, is separated and taken into a crusher. In this crusher, the required additives like coloring matter or rosins, etc., are added and then cut into molds and sent into market. Thus, this is about the hot process. Now we will going to discuss about cold process. This cold process takes place at low temperature, that is at about 40 to 45 degrees centigrade, and that's why it is called as cold process. It is carried out in a cylindrical flat bottom pan which is called as crusher. In this crusher, a mixture of oil and the known amount of alkali is taken and heated at about 40 to 45 degrees centigrade. As the reaction is exothermic, it doesn't require further stirring. And to this, the fillers like fillers or builders are added and cooled and then packed and then sent into market. But the main disadvantage of this process is that the glycerol, which is obtained as a valuable byproduct, can't be separated out. Then the last method for the manufacture of soap is semi-boiled process. It takes place at about 80 degrees centigrade, means not much higher, not much lower temperature it has. The oil is taken in a pan which is called as furnace and then heated to about 80 degree. And to this the calculated amount of alkali, that is lye, is added with continuous stirring, and then the stirring becomes continued for about 2 to 3 hours, and to this the required additives are added, allowed to cool and packed. In this method also the glycerol, which is the valuable byproduct, can't be separated. Thus, this is about the three methods, that is hot process, cold process and semi-boiled process. And as we have seen, there are some advantages of hot process over cold and semi-boiled process. The first main advantage of hot process is that the valuable byproduct, that is glycerol, can be separated out. Also, the fats or oils which are used in this process are completely saponified, and the unused material like glycerol or alkali can be recycled and reused. Thank you.